Good morning and happy day to you. And I think everybody loves a good mob boss movie. And I was watching one the other day, and I love when the guy says, "What do you think I'm doing this for? My health? You think I'm doing this for my health?" And I think that's kind of interesting because I wanted to talk today about health insurance, and open enrollment is right around the corner. So what do you think? We're doing this for our health? Well, yeah, actually, that's why we're doing it for our health. So remember your open enrollment time period for FEHB, that is Federal Employee Health Benefits, or PSHB, that is Postal Service Health Benefit. Yep, they're still the same companies, just different names, different categories, different payment structure. They have open enrollment every single year. First of all, that's coming up in November. You've got that month and a half-ish that you can make changes to be effective in January. So every open enrollment for almost everything tends to be end of the year. So we also have Medicare open enrollment happening also starting, that's October 15th through December 7th. But remember, while you're working, if you are covered by FEHB or PSHB, unless you have TRICARE, which becomes TRICARE for life, or unless your spouse is already kind of spun out on Medicare and you may want to look at some options to save money, unless those two things are true, there's no reason for you or your spouse to turn on Medicare Part B Bravo because of the additional cost. If you're still working, you've got your health insurance covered, you are protected from the Part B penalty that would happen if you delayed turning it on. But again, you are protected from that. Now, the time has come, the walrus said, to talk of many things. Sorry, I can't say it without finishing the poem. But the open enrollment happens very soon. So you want to start looking. I was trying to see if they have prices out yet. I do not see prices out yet as of October 3rd of 2025, but they are soon to be relayed. So you should start getting what they call an ANOC, which is an annual notification of change. So you can see what your plan is doing next year and whether you want to stick with it. Remember, open enrollment happens even if you're retired. So every year around this time, you should be taking an inventory of what your health insurance costs were, what you used, what you paid. If you're cool with it, was it easy? Was it hard? Did you have to go in or out of the network? Check the other plans out. Every year they make changes. Every year they make, tweaks to what their plan does and doesn't do. So you want to know what's happening. I can tell you horror stories of people who didn't look, didn't care, never checked out what was going to happen the next year. And they went from paying $300 a pay period to $680 a pay period. And then once January rolled around and they got their paycheck and they're like, what the heck, where's my money? Can you make any changes in January? No, it's a January to December program when you're in FEHB and Postal Service Health Plan. So let's not get stuck. Let's just take a moment, review what you got, and be sure you want to stay with it. Also, double check your enrollment structure. Are you self plus one? Are you self and family? If you're Twinkies, like that is married and federal, or married and postal, or married and federal and postal, then you might consider self only, each of you, because the cost is significant in savings. That is a significant cost savings. If you are Twinkies and you have no children to cover, then there may be no reason to have self plus one. You would want to consider self only, each person having self only. In general, almost every time I've done the comparison, it saves you $100 a month total, but that's your $100 a month. So definitely want to consider that. Big question I get also is, well, I thought I had to stay with the same plan 5 years in order to keep my health insurance when I leave. You have to keep a federal or postal health plan, but you don't have to stay in the same healthcare plan. That's the purpose of open enrollment. If you had to be locked in, they would not even offer you open enrollment, because why would you change, you see? But yeah, you can change. It's any federal or postal health plan. So you can move from Blue Cross to GEHA to Aetna to United Healthcare to whatever, from the back to the middle and around again. And you then keep it for the next year, but you have the consistent 5 years prior to retirement of having any federal or postal health plan. So that's the rub. And remember, you, the employee, are the one who has to keep the health insurance for the 5 years. Your spouse can pop on and off. That's kind of fun. But remember also, in order to leave your spouse that health insurance, if you pass away, you have to leave them a survivor benefit. Even if it's the partial little guy, save money, still leave the health insurance if something happens to you, which is a really good thing. But remember too, in order for them to keep the health insurance, if you pass away, they have to be on the health insurance when you pass away because they're continuing it. They're not starting it. So there you have it. Health insurance in a nutshell. No, this is me in a nutshell. I'm going to stop. I won't do it again. Not today anyway. Happy checking. And remember, open enrollment lasts for a short period of time. Doesn't take you too long to double check. See what you got for this year. See what you got for next year and be cool with your choices. We'll see you then.